Thank you, Shlomi. Chazak u'baruch. Bezrat Hashem, the Divrei Torah will be להצלחת Robert Reuven Ben Yehuda. Bezrat Hashem and all the people here. Yeh Ratzon. This is, the Ben Ish Chai, one of the great rabbis of Baghdad. He said that a Chanukat HaBait, it's called Seudat Mitzvah. He was a posek, and he said in Halacha that this is called Seudat Mitzvah. What's a Seudat Mitzvah? It's like a wedding. It's like a Brit Milah. It's like when you finish a Masechet of Talmud, it's a happy day. So the Chanukat HaBait today, it's an event. Baruch Hashem, we have a full house, Ishtabach Shem Olad. And I started to talk a little bit about the importance and the power of Chanukat HaBait. I would like to add a little bit more to that, so we understand and we tell our friends also that this custom is so important and how to do it properly. Maybe also to understand the Kabbalistic meaning of it. According to Kabbalah, what does this custom say? So Hashem, we're going to also record this shiur, so more people will see. There's going to be more zchut for Baal HaBait. But before that, I want to tell you a story, Rabotai. I live in Toronto, as you know, and we have, Baruch Hashem, a big community there. A lot of people. The community was very secular a few years ago. And Baruch Hashem, slowly now, a lot of people getting back to Judaism and starting to practice Judaism, and it's beautiful to see it. And there's one family that called me one time. This family doesn't call usually, but they had a problem, and the father called me, and Mamash, he was almost crying because something happened in his house. He has a son. The son is 5-6 years old, and the son almost every night, every second night, suddenly sees something at home, a spirit, and he starts to scream. He is afraid of some spirits, Shalom Aleichem, that there is at home. And he tells me on the phone, it's not just that, Rabbi, there's more to it. He has a friend, my son, he has a friend, it's a spiritual friend. And he sees him. The son says that he sees him. And that friend is, he has a name. What's his name? Eliezer. That's the friend's name. It's a spirit. And he talks to that friend, and when we say, where is Eliezer? He says, here in the couch. And we don't see this. We don't see Eliezer. But the kid sees him. So they thought maybe the kids see too much TV, is dreaming things. But they saw from day to day that it's serious. He is really see something. And every second day he starts to scream, so he sees spirits at home. They didn't know what to do. Nobody can help in this case. So they decide to call the rabbi. So they called me, and my first question that I asked him, first of all, I wanted to talk to the kid. The kid didn't want to talk to me because he doesn't know who am I. So I asked the father, what's happening at nights, what he's saying to that spirit that he sees. And then I realized that there's something in it. The kid is not just saying things. There is something in it. He's not dreaming. I asked him, there's something called Chanukat HaBait. You call 10 people, you sit around the table, you do some brachot, you make a shiur Torah, read Zohar, read Gemara, read all those Mishnayot. And this is take all negative powers from the house. Did you do that? He says, no. I asked him another question, your mezuzot. You know, in the mezuzah we have Shin Daled Yud. The Shin Daled Yud states for Shomer Daltot Israel. Hashem keeps the doors of Am Israel. Shin Daled Yud, the Zohar Kadosh says it's Shed Yud. Shin Daled, it's a demon. So the Shin Daled, the Yud, when you add the Yud to the Shin Daled, it takes away all Chaz v'Shalom demons and bad spirits from the house. So I told him, maybe there's, mezuzot or one mezuzah that is not okay. He says, you know what? Could be. I want to make this Chanukat HaBait, and whatever you tell me, we will do. I just want to, I want the kid to feel safe and the house to be okay. Baruch Hashem, you organized Chanukat HaBait, mamash like here. A lot of people came, food.
Michael Benjamin.
Yeah, and we did the Chanukat HaBait. We put some other mezuzot because they didn't have a full mezuzot in the house. After we did this, the night after, Baruch Hashem, everything is okay. No screaming at home. The kid is fine. Another day passed. Everything is okay. A whole week passed. Everything is okay. The father came to the kid. He told him, where is Eliezer? So the kid tells him, I don't know. He disappeared. Eliezer disappeared. And then he calls me after a week or two and tells me, Rabbi, you don't understand. Right after that night, he was not at home even. The kid didn't know. It's not psychologically. The kid didn't know that we did it. He was not home. He came home. And from then, Baruch Hashem, nothing. Be'emet, we know, the Gemara Masechet Brachot on page 6 says that around us, there's powers that we don't see. There's negative powers, there's positive powers, there's a lot of energies. And the Gemara says how to see it. Yeah, also, it's very interesting. There's a way to see it. For those who, have a doubt, maybe the Gemara doesn't know. But Baruch Hashem, there's also a way to take them away. And that happens when we do Chanukat HaBait. When a person buys a house, the Chida says, when you come into the house to choose what house you want, every person usually, he goes to that room that is more important for him, to see. Women usually, they go to the kitchen. According to the kitchen, they buy the house. Some people, they buy the house according to the bedroom. If the bedroom is good, okay, I want to buy the house. Each one has his own corner that he looks, right? That for him it's the most important. If this is good, doesn't matter the other things. The Chida say, a Jew, when you get into the house, the first corner you should look for is where is going to be the corner that I study Torah in.
Wow.
He says, if you want to make the place that you live in a spiritual place, first thing you should look, not the kitchen, not the bedroom, not nothing. Where is going to be my learning corner? When I'm going to sit, teach my kids, study Torah, pray to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, when is going to be that place? If it's a woman, where is going to be my Adlakat Nerot station? He says, if you do so, you bring blessing right away to that house. More than that, says the Chida. He lived 350 years ago. He says that place, each one of us has to have a certain place in the house, that this is your worship place. This is where you and Hashem, you connect to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, that place. It's your small Bet HaMikdash in your house, exactly. It can be in the head of the table, it can be in a certain corner, it can be in your office, doesn't matter where. One place that you know, where I study Torah, I do it there. And then says the Chida, that place, from the moment that you made this place a place of worship, a place of spirituality, from that moment, says the Chida, this place becomes like the Kotel HaMa'aravi. That's his words. And if you have, Chaz v'Shalom, a problem in business, in family, in health, God forbid, the place where you should go is that place that you always learn there, that you always pray there. He says it has almost the power of Kotel HaMa'aravi, of the Western wall. So That's how important, Rabotai, is our house. That's how important it is to do Chanukat HaBait and to have a certain place of Avodat Hashem, that we serve God in our house. If you don't have a place like that, choose it now, after this shiur. And at that place, make sure you sit and you learn Torah. Rabotai, we're all fathers here, nachon? Baruch Hashem. I want to tell you something as a father to father. You know, when we Baruch Hashem do business, we do money, we enjoy life, Yishtabach Shemo, we live in America and Canada. But the most important thing for us is our children. That's, nobody argues. That's the most important for us. We want them to be happy, we want them to grow. Now, kids, you know, I learned in Canada the neurology of the brain, NLP, all those stuff. When we learn that the subconscious mind has 95% of our mind. Only 5 or even 3%, according to some opinions, it's the conscious mind. Kids, their subconscious mind is more dominant than ours. We are more conscious, they are more subconscious. Now, what subconscious means? Subconscious means that they get everything. They get into a house, all the details comes into their, it's already affects them. When you build a house, you make it beautiful, you make it good. In our house, there's the main place of the house. What's the main place? What's the center of the house? Usually it's the living room. The living room is the center of the house. And of the center of the living room, there's that wall. Yeah, the wall that everybody faces, that wall. The Sefer Torah wall. Yeah, fair. And you know, when I first, Baruch Hashem, moved to a house, I told my wife, we'll buy books and we put those books at that wall. The whole wall is going to be full of books. So she said, why? So I told her this. I learned it from my rabbi. Subconsciously, our kids, they understand when Abba comes home, he sits on the couch and he has the center of the house, the living room. And then this is basically shows what's the center of your life. What you living for. And I want to show my kids that the main thing, that I think it's the most important thing, is being smart. Is to learn. So I showed them books. Even if you don't read those books, put those books in. Subconsciously it's going to work. It's very, very important. More than that, Rabotai. You know, our kids sometimes they don't do homework. They don't want to learn. They want to go play basketball, do other things, watch TV, play video games. And we always tell them, hey, you have to learn, you have to take it seriously, do this, do that. Sometimes they don't listen. Words not working in Chinuch Yeladim when you want to educate kids. Actions working. You know what's an action? If our kid, and I'm talking to myself, you're tzaddikim, I'm sure. When our kid will see us coming home, opening a stender, or even without a stender, opening a book and looking at a book, he will look at it. It will get to his subconscious mind. And he will understand the lesson that maybe 10 years of talking to him, he would not understand the same thing of one time watching it. We say in Hebrew, Tmuna achat shava elef milim. One picture equals 1,000 words. Rabotai, even if you don't know how to read, just open the book in front of him. He needs to see it. You know, leave your kid. Your wife needs to see it. You want your wife to think good about you? To respect you, to honor you? Show her that there's something to respect. I'm learning. You know, I'm doing something. Something important. It's so, so important, Rabotai, for 10 minutes, for 5 minutes. Beside what I said, the Chida say that this place, when you start to learn at that place, It becomes Kotel HaMa'aravi. When we go to the Kotel HaMa'aravi, how excited we are. Huh? You remember, Shlomi, we met in the Kotel?
You met?
Yeah, our story is Shtabach Shem Olad. It's a whole lecture about our story.
One day.
Bezat Hashem. So how excited you are when you get to the Kotel HaMa'aravi. You're very excited. HaKadosh Baruch Hu says the Shekhinah that is in the Kotel and never moves from the Kotel is in your house every day. You can bring it in. Don't miss that opportunity. Come home from work, open the book. You don't know how to open the book? Okay, today there's a YouTube. Open the lecture in YouTube. Fine, it's also fine. Or Torah anytime. Yafeh, this is better. Aval, see something. Show your family that you're doing that. That's one thing. Another thing, Rabotai, and I want those words, be'emet, to affect the house, to bring a lot of bracha here. Because there's already a positive energy, or I don't know if you feel. Shtabach Shem Olam. But now it's going to be more.
All the house is going to feel.
Shtabach Shem Olam. I want to tell you, Rabotai, you know, it says in the books of Kabbalah that if you buy a house, I'm going to give you an advice. Those who are real estate is going to like this advice. It says in the books of Kabbalah that when you buy a house, it's better to buy a house in a neighborhood that is already built. Buy already a built house. Don't build it yourself.
Oh.
Why? One second. Or build a house in a neighborhood that was something built in that area before. So let's say if you buy a house,
Don't be the first one.
don't be the first one on that land. So if it's an empty land, it's better to not take it. Why? It says in the books of Kabbalah that every empty place, that there's no people there, right away, what's happening there? Mezikim, bad spirits. It's their place, it's their area. Now when you come and you build a house, what happens? Huh? No, of course the Chanukat HaBait will help. But before, but one second. When you take that piece of land and you build a house there, those bad forces that are mad at you. You just moved us out. You know? So in the first year, second year, there's going to be a lot of judgments. It's going to be a lot of difficulties usually, unless you do a lot of spiritual work. That's why they say it's better you buy a place that already was built. Here in Jamaica State, they do the right way, right? They take a house, they move it, and they build another one. That's fine because it's already a place that was built. Now, another thing, when someone builds a house, he puts his energy in the house. You have to understand, there's something in Hasidut, in Kabbalah, called Koach HaPo'el Banifal. Koach HaPo'el, the person that makes something, he puts his energies in the thing. So for example, if I made this table, my energy is in that table. You know, I learned in Monsi. You know Monsi? In Rav Ziagen's yeshiva. I was there for a few years. And when I came their yeshiva were in a big house of a rich Vizhnitz guy, Vizhnitz Chassid. And in the basement, they had a huge basement. That was the yeshiva. They were renting it. So I came to the yeshiva, and they told me, okay, this is your place. So they gave me a table. Now this table was mamash, you know, akum, crooked, bent, like mamash, like this. And I got, you know, I was a little bit offended, you know, like, ma, because I'm new, you're giving me this, you know, crooked table. So I went to the mashgiach and I told him, why it's not comfortable for me, this table, you know, all the sfarim goes down, and can I change the table? So he told me, you know what's this table? I told him no. He says, you know what, go to the HaBait, the Vizhnitz Chassid, and ask him why he has this table here. So I did it. I went to him and I asked him, what's this table for? So he told me, oh, this table is the Admor Mivizhnitz table. And this table, he was doing for years the tish. You know the tish? On Shabbat, they do the big kiddush, seudah, the Admorim. He was doing on that table for years. So he gave it to me, or he bought it, I don't remember, and I live it in my basement. After I heard that, I said, okay, I like the table. Let's stay with the table. And then he told me, go look at Ben Ish Chai Masechet Eruvin. He has a very interesting stuff on this. I looked at the Ben Ish Chai, and the Ben Ish Chai said that when someone, a tzaddik, was using a certain vessel, certain thing, he puts his kedusha, he puts his spirit inside it. When you use it, you get it. You get those holiness from that. When someone makes something, let's say he made a table, he made a chair. The person that made the chair puts his energy inside. When you use the chair, his characters will affect you. Same thing in music. I'm a musician, I do a lot of music all my life. And I realize that the mood that you are in when you sing, when you play, the Baal HaTanya says you can make someone Baal Tshuva only by playing a song for him. You don't need to do nothing. If you're a tzaddik and you play a song to someone, he can be chozer b'tshuva just by hearing your song. Because you give him and he did it once, Baal HaTanya, zchuto tagen alenu, Rabbi Shneur Zalman Miladi was the head of Chabad. One time, the Litvish, they were against Chassidut 200 years ago. So one time he came to a Litvish place, and they wanted to argue with him. So they were very, very, charifim. They were very strong, very smart people, sharp. Nachon. So they told him, Baal HaTanya, we want to talk to you. So he told them, you know what? I know you want to argue with me, but first, before we sit, let me play a little bit. He played them the song. You don't understand those people after the song, no questions. They understood everything. So again, when you put your energy in a song, in anything you do, go back to Chanukat HaBait, Rabotai. You built this house, right? No, you bought it as it is. Almost, okay.
The time it took to renovate and stuff.
To renovate, it's like building. Yeah.
You could have built it.
Rabotai, we don't know who are the people who renovated the house. We don't know who are the people who built the house. We don't know what type of energy, what type of intention they put inside the walls here. Most likely they were not so big tzaddikim. And when we get into the house, that affects us. The builders. You sit in the house, also the painters, everyone.
What's the most important, the painter or the builder?
The builder. Shniya, Rabotai. Let's make an order. Puts everything in order. The Torah say that any person that do something, he puts his energy in it. So the painter, the builder, the one that renovated, we don't know. Of course, the best thing called the a company of tzaddikim, maybe it's a good name for a company, that's tzaddikim, a renovation company to come.
Construction.
Exactly, construction. They come and they build with kavanot, with everything, but we don't have it now. Unfortunately, B'ezrat Hashem, until someone opens that, we don't have it now. We have to plan B. The plan B is, okay, we are in the house. Those energies are in here. I don't want them to affect my kid. I don't want them to affect myself, my marriage. What I do, HaKadosh Baruch Hu gave us a present, Chanukat HaBait. You come to Chanukat HaBait, you call Shlomi, gives you the books.
App. We have an app.
You have an app already. They don't need you anymore.
No, what do you mean? You cannot access without Shlomi.
You cannot access.
Wow, so
Fair. Very good. So you get the app. You get the app or you get whatever you need. You make Chanukat HaBait. Now, by the way, if you don't have the opportunity to get 10 people, one person is enough. Just read the whole thing. If you don't have enough, if you cannot read it even, bring Torah to your house. Like the Balabai did. Bring one rabbi, another rabbi to same divrei Torah here, divrei Torah there, brachot, everybody, good environment, good people, positive people. And this is effects. Last thing, Rabotai, that I want to say There was a story with Rav Shlomo Zalman Auerbach, Zchutot Hagenu Aleinu. Rav Shlomo Zalman Auerbach, one of the great Rabbanim of the Ashkenazi world generation ago. And he didn't have a lot of time, this rabbi. You know, rabbis, they are very busy. They study Torah most of the time. He had a student, that the student had a Chanukat HaBait. And the rabbi told him, I'll come. He comes to all the students' Chanukat HaBait because he wants to give them his bracha. But he doesn't stay more than 10 minutes. If you would see that rabbi more than 10 minutes, it's something special. So the rabbi came. He sat on the table, said L'chaim, told him bracha. And then, after 10 minutes, everybody thought, okay, the rabbi now is going to go. But suddenly what he did is, he told the owner of the house, can you show me the house? I want to see. That was very weird, you know, like, what do you mean you want to see? Usually you are very, you know, okay. And he showed him the house, one room, another room, the basement, everything. And every place the rabbi saw, he was blessing that place. Who says, I'm so happy for you, you should have a bracha here. I'm so happy for you, you should have a bracha here. He looked at every place in the house. After a day, this guy asked the rabbi, Rabbi, why did you ask me to show you the house? You don't do it to anyone. Something special here. So he told him, you know, I see you learning, I love you so much. And at that day that I came to your house, I felt so happy for you because you didn't have a house for a while. You were praying for that. You were renting a house. It was very hard for you. And now when I saw that you're happy and you have a house, I was so happy for you. And the Gemara says, Tov ayin hu yevorach, al tikri yevorach ela yevarech. When someone has a good eye, when someone is happy for his friend, just by looking at his things, you give a bracha. Like evil eye works, when someone is not happy with someone's success, he makes an evil eye. There's something called a good eye, ayin tova. When you are happy with someone else's success, you know what you do? You bless his place. If you have such an eye, go and look at things. And that's another thing that I think it's very important to know, Rabotai. We have to think not only about ourselves, about our friends. You come to your friend's house, he bought a new house, make sure before in the car, you work on your mind being happy for him. I'm really, really happy for him. And I want him to have even more. And if you come to his house, looking at his house with this type of intention, you know what you bring to your friend? The best present. You don't need to give him a vodka or a whiskey or whatever. You give him the best present. It's a good eye. It's a bracha. I want to bless all of you again, especially Balabait Robert, especially Shlomi that organized everything. Chazak u'baruch. You organized me. So, and Be'ezrat Hashem, Hashem should give you a lot of nachat and atzlacha. ברכה והצלחה, אמן ואמן, ברכה פרנסה טובה, אמן ואמן.